Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here is the easiest way to defeat the 7-star Mightiest Mark Swampert in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. In order to get the 7-star Swampert Tera raid in your game, simply open up the main menu by pressing X, then press your left bumper to connect to the internet. Then go over and select Poke Portal, then go down and select Mystery Gift, then go down and select Check Poke Portal News. As soon as you have this message appearing on your screen, the 7-star Swampert Tera raid is in your game. And as you can see, the raid is available until 4:59 p.m. PDT of June 2nd. Then it will come back at 5 p.m. PDT of June 6th. Then will only be available until 4:59 p.m. PDT of June 9th. And for that second round of the Swampert raid, we will also have 5-star Blissey raid dens, the challenge, which is perfect for those Tera shards, but you have plenty of time to get Swampert into your collection. Now, in order to easily defeat the 7-star Mightiest Mark Swampert, you are going to need a level 100 Vaporeon with a Psychic Tera type that is also holding a Shell Bell. Trust me, we are going to need this item because every time you do damage Swampert, we are going to get some HP back, and we are going to need that for this raid. For the moveset, make sure your Vaporeon knows Acid Armor. This move is so we don't get hit as hard by Swampert's Earthquakes, because he will be spamming Earthquake quite a bit throughout the raid battle. Then also make sure your Vaporeon knows Mud Slap. This move is just so we can build up our Tera Orb, plus it does lower the accuracy of Swampert, which is beneficial as Swampert's hard-hitting moves can be avoided if you get good RNG. Then also make sure your Vaporeon knows Calm Mind. This move is so we can buff up our Vaporeon to have a +6 special attack. Plus, in the process, we will get a +6 special defense, which is very beneficial against the Sludge Wave, which is also a very common move that Swampert will use against our Vaporeon. And lastly, make sure your Vaporeon knows Stored Power. This move is going to be our big damage move, and since we have two moves that boost up our Vaporeon in different stat categories, it's going to boost up this Stored Power move, especially if we get that +6 special attack and +6 special defense. Then on top of that, we are going to be using Acid Armor, which gives us a +2 in defense. So you can do the math. Stored Power is going to be doing quite a bit of damage against the 7-star Mightiest Mark Swampert. But we're not done yet. Our Vaporeon is going to be a special attacker for this raid, so please make sure that your Vaporeon has a modest nature. Then also make sure to hyper train your Vaporeon if needed in every single stat category besides attack. And then for the EVs, make sure to use 26 calciums, 26 HP ups, and 1 iron. And lastly, make sure your Vaporeon has a water absorb ability. As you can see, whenever your Vaporeon gets hit by a water type move, the Pokemon will have its HP restored instead of taking damage. This ability comes into play in the very beginning of the raid because Swampert kicks off the raid battle with Muddy Water. Then sometimes Swampert will use Hydro Pump, which will not do any damage to us. And then for some very odd reason, and this does not happen all the time, whenever Swampert uses Earthquake, it can sometimes trigger the water absorb ability, which doesn't make any sense. As you can see in the clips, I'm not even getting hit by Earthquake, but somehow the water absorb ability is being triggered. Then when I actually get hit by Earthquake, the water absorb ability gets triggered as well. And I have no explanation for why this even happens. But now for the raid. The strat is very simple. Like I said earlier, as soon as the raid begins, Swampert kicks it off with a Muddy Water and it triggers your ability. Then for your first move, use Acid Armor. Then spam Mud Slap till you can terrestrialize. Although sometimes during this process, Swampert can nullify your stat changes and ability. So whenever this happens, make sure to use Acid Armor right away. But most of the time, you can spam Mud Slap till you can terrestrialize, then terrestrialize and use Acid Armor at the same time. Then from here, it becomes a very fun game of using Calm Mind when you can and using Stored Power when your HP gets too low. Your main objective here is to survive and get up to a +6 special attack. So obviously, we have to use Calm Mind for a total of 6 times during this process, but please make sure your HP is in a good spot because Earthquakes can do some massive damage on you, even with an Acid Armor buff. And if you do happen to get hit by Swampert's Yawn, just keep using Calm Mind or Stored Power until your Vaporeon falls asleep, then simply just use the Heal Cheer and continue using either Calm Mind or Stored Power until you get a +6 special attack. As soon as you get that +6 special attack, just spam Stored Power until you KO the 7-star Mightiest Mark Swampert. This strat is not necessarily perfect, but it is very consistent. And since we can get Herbamysticas as reward drops for this raid, I highly recommend making yourself a Poison Raid Power level 2 sandwich before you take on the 7-star Swampert Tera raid by simply making a sandwich with 6 servings of noodles, 1 serving of marmalade, 2 servings of wasabi, and 1 serving of yogurt. And yes, getting these ingredients to fit on the sandwich can be a little tricky, so please make sure to be careful. And also, you can just toss that other slice of bread off to the side. You do not need it. With this sandwich, we will get an additional 2 rewards, which means an even higher chance for Herbamysticas. But that is how you can easily defeat the 7-star Mightiest Mark Swampert in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Hopefully today's video was helpful. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, turn on those post notifications, all that good stuff, and I will catch you all in the next video. Have a good one, and good luck to anyone out there that still needs to defeat the 7-star Mightiest Mark Swampert in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.